Welcome back, everyone. We are live at Super Bowl Live at Centennial Olympic Park. I'm Christine Pilara. We have such a treat for you. I love my next guest. He's actually a former Marine, former Chicago cop, longtime Jerry Springer show bodyguard. And we are so excited he's celebrating this February the return of one of our favorite talk shows, going into its 12th season now. The one, the only, Steve Wilkos is in our spotlight. Yes. And of course, Kara wanted to get in on this interview. You all have the Chicago thing in common. Kara lived in Chicago. Her brother still does.
Also, you're very, very handsome.
He is. I mean,
those eyes are piercing in person.
So I get to interview Steve each and every year, talking about the new season of the show, and we need to discuss that. I mean, you started. Well, first of all, go back to what we were talking about. This TV wasn't in your background.
No, I mean, I was a Chicago policeman. My father was a Chicago policeman, so when I got out of Marines, I was going to do that for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I took a side job on Jerry Springer one day, and next thing I know, my role kept increasing in the show, which most security guards on TV shows, that doesn't happen.
Right.
Then they asked me to shave my head. I shaved my head.
That was it.
Yeah,
and the rest is history.
But my big break was when Jerry went on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
Because they thought he'd be gone for a week, and so they said, well, you're going to host the show while he's gone. And I said, I don't know how to do that. But they, you'll be fine. Well, he ended up being on Dancing with the Stars for like 6-7 weeks.
Right.
And so I ended up hosting a lot of shows, and when those shows aired, the ratings kind of went up.
Ooh,
so
Jerry.
I did that for like 2 years. Oh, believe me, Jerry's, he gets a piece of my action. So
that's right, and he is a trip. He's
a great guy.
Great pleasure of interviewing him.
But so it was after 2 years of this, NBC just called me up one night and said, hey, we're giving you your own show. And then I really was terrified, because I'm like, I'm a cop. You know?
Yeah, no, well, but so you know how to handle yourself in situations. You saw this, obviously, all sorts of crazy scenarios with the Jerry Springer show. What were some of the biggest challenges for you when you were handling these crazy audiences, you know, the subject matter?
When I was on Springer, you're talking about?
Yes.
The hardest thing to deal was when I was a policeman, because I still was a Chicago policeman when I was working on the Springer show. So I would literally have my gun stuck in somebody's ribs saying, hey, freeze, and they'd be like, hey, Steve, you know, can I get tickets to Jerry Springer show? I'm like,
you're like,
I have a gun pressed up against you, you know? So
God, you're so dangerous.
So then my wife, who's my executive producer, she was like, you really need to leave the police department and
focus on this.
And it was the right decision.
Yeah.
Right. That would be strange. I can't imagine doing your day job but being recognized for a different job
Well,
while trying to be serious and risk people.
People call the police and I'd show up at their door and they're like, what are you doing here, Steve?
Right.
You're going to win something?
You called the police. They're like,
you're
yeah,
a TV
but
guy.
why are you here?
Right.
I'm like, see this uniform?
Oh, that's hilarious.
I know. And let's talk about, you mentioned your wife, executive producer. What's that like working with her? Obviously, you have children, you have this family life.
Yeah.
How do you keep it separate?
Well, it is great because I met her on the Springer show, and it's a true story. You know, we did a lot of we didn't call them transgender shows back then. It was like transsexual shows or whatever. And so you didn't, like, we'd have really good looking men as women, you know.
Right.
Okay, where's this going?
Wow.
She walked on stage, and I said, if that's not a man, I'm going to marry her. Because I wasn't sure if it was a man or a woman. But she was so good looking. And
that is great.
And I did end up marrying her. And then, so she became the executive producer of Springer. Then when I got my show, whoever was running it, they left. And then my wife took over temporarily. They didn't want to give her my show. But while she was running it, my ratings were going up. And I said, well, hey, right. So I want my wife. And they eventually gave her to me. And then she left Springer. And so we've been working together for a long time now. And I can't imagine working with anybody else because she's my wife. And we really do get along. But one thing we do, when I go home, we don't talk about it ever.
Yeah.
Never. We talk about the show.
Yeah,
so.
that's impressive that you're able to do that.
Yeah.
And obviously, she's great at what she does, so it's a great partnership. Let's talk about something that, you know, when we started, and you started as well, we didn't have all the social media that we do now. How has that helped your show? Because let's face it, I imagine it does, because all we see a lot are strife, conflict, fighting. How has that contributed to what you're doing there?
Well, I mean, the show actually has a very, you know, every TV show does, right? Social media. Me personally, I'm on no social media. I have no Facebook, I have no Instagram, I have nothing. And nor do I want it because, or Twitter. Nobody ever says, oh, that was a great tweet. You always hear, oh, my career's over because I said something really inappropriate.
That is true.
So I'm like, I'm on nothing like that. My wife is on it because she follows my kids, because my kids are on social media, and she has to see everything they're posting. But like, I think social media is a good thing because people become more aware of shows, and you can get messages out and stuff. But like I said, personally myself, I want nothing to do with it, and I don't want to meet people in my past and all that.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
You know,
he's like, I don't want to see ex-girlfriends on Facebook.
Oh, by the way, you have such great teeth, boy.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
Is it the white? Is it the glare?
I'm like dazzled.
Oh my God!
Really
Stop it! Stop it!
It's true.
Okay. Well, we are going to actually put you to the test.
Okay.
Because part of what you do is you help solve problems.
I try.
And we've got a big problem.
We have a huge problem.
So what's happened, speaking of social media, is somebody has been posting anonymously some really negative things on social media about myself and Kara, and it's hard. We don't want to look, but we see it, and we're like, who are these people?
Right, if you can't say anything nice, just don't say anything at all.
Right.
What do they
Hurts
say?
our feelings.
Well, I think we've got a few. Let's take one. I don't know which we're going to start with, if it's me or Kara. But I know Trent had pulled some. Okay, well, we don't have it.
We don't have it, but
give him the gist of it. Give him the gist of it, Kara.
Okay, somebody wrote in and was asking why you always talk about your age all the time.
I'm turning 50, and I'm going through menopause.
Oh, so you're young.
Thank you, Steve. I'm just trying to.
He knows just what to say.
Yeah.
The big thing, 50's the new 40.
Thank you, Steve. And then somebody.
And then I used to be blonde for a long time. I just got dark hair, and people are calling me single white female, saying I want to be like Christine.
Yeah. So we want to. It really hurts our feelings, Steve, and so we really want to get to the heart of the problem.
No, you know, seriously, and when I first got my show, you'd get a stack of emails. Oh, you're great, Steve. You're great. And then you get 10 that says, you're not,
I know,
jerk in the world. Well, I would focus so much on those 10.
On those 10, I know.
And why do we do that?
So it's pointless, I know.
Really is.
I never read it.
And that's probably smart.
Well, you're not on social media, so
Yeah.
you don't even see it.
But
especially as women, you probably get it way worse.
we do. People dissect, and you do this, you look old, or Kara why they dye her hair.
Whatever.
So yeah.
Exactly.
But anyway, this happened. And Steve, I know your team did some investigative reporting, and so will you tell us who it is? Because we're dying to know. We're just dying to know who's responsible.
Oh.
The
viewers
viewer did it.
I thought you did like a forensic investigation, and we want to know which viewer did it.
So my wife would give me an envelope, and I read, and the person who's doing it is Christine Pilara.
What? I would never write anything negative about Kara. I don't know what you're talking about, Steve.
If I wasn't tethered to this couch, I'd be out of here.
That's
not true.
Just like people who murder each other are
I don't even know what you're talking. Kara, I love you. I love your hair this color. Keep it that way.
Wait, let's
did look great blonde too.
Let's bring the lie detector test.
No, Steve, I swear. Kara, I swear.
I don't care about your pretty teeth or your beautiful eyes.
Was it you that wrote about my perimenopause?
No, you're tethered. You're tethered. You're tethered.
I don't break up
very hot here.
As always, Steve Wilkos, Men's Hearts, gets to the heart of all the issues. And now we are back friends again. Steve's like, oh, okay, it's Christy. How'd y'all like that? That was good. Academy Award-winning performance.
It is Oscar season.
Yes, it is. Steve, I can't thank you enough.
Next time, put some water in these. Right?
I know. That's our time. All right, Steve, 2 o'clock on our sister station. Thank you so much for being with us.
It's so nice to be in Atlanta.
Yeah, don't be a stranger.
I know. I got.
And congratulations, 12 years.
That's incredible.
Is quite an accomplishment.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Steve Wilkos, everybody.
Thank you.
God, you know, acting takes a lot out of
It really does.